Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the daily readings of Srila Prabhupada's books. Lately, we've been reading the Srimad-Bhagavatam. The Srimad-Bhagavatam, according to our previous acharyas, is the commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, which is the summary of the Vedic philosophy. So therefore, the Srimad-Bhagavatam is the essence of all the Shruti and the Smriti put together. So lucky us. Welcome to all of you out there in cyberspace. We're hearing from one of the top authorities. Well, in some ways he's the top authority, Lord Brahma. And he's pacifying Lord Vishnu because he's trying to get a solution to the Demigods' problem so they won't be defeated by the demons. It's been going on since time immemorial, since the beginning of creation. Okay, Sanatana Goswami, his prayer glorifying the Srimad Bhagavatam to explain to us what it is and how we should be thinking, how we should go deep into the matter. Srimad Bhagavata Mahima Stotram from the Sri Krishna Lila Stava by Srila Sanatana Goswami. And it goes like this. Sarvashabdi Piyusha Sarva Vedaika Satpala Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya Sarva Lokaika Drikprada. O nectar from the ocean of all scriptures, singular fruit of all the Vedas, mind of the precious gems of all conclusive truths, you are the only giver of sight to all the worlds. Sarva Bhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavata Prabho Kalidvandoditaditya Shri Krishna Parivartita. O life air of all the Supreme Lord's devotees, O Master Srimad Bhagavatam, you are the sun risen in the darkness of Kali. You are the exact image of Sri Krishna. Paramananda Pataya Prema Varshakshadayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namostume. I bow down to you who is supremely blissful to read. Your every syllable pours down a flood of prema. You can always be served by everyone. You are Sri Krishna himself. Madekabando matsangin madguro man mahadana mannisadagamad Mananda Namostute. My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my great wealth, my savior, my good fortune, my source of ecstasy, I bow down to you. Asadu sadutadayin atinichotatakara hanamunchagadachin mam premnarit kandayospura. O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O exalter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Lord Brahma is speaking to Vishnu, pacifying him actually with prayers so that he'll find a solution. Hey, Judas. Hey, Hare Krishna. Oh, so nice to see you guys. Here, take your seats over here. I said Judah, didn't I? That's what I said. I think so, didn't I? Yeah, you did. Yeah, I think so. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Kulindi. Lord Brahma is speaking to Vishnu. On this earth, there are 4 kinds of living entities who are all created by him. The material creation rests on his lotus feet. He is the great Supreme Person, full of opulence and power. May he be pleased with us. Purport. The word Mahi refers to the 5 material elements, earth, water, air, fire, and sky, which rest upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mahatpadam Punya Yasho Marare. The Mahat Tattva, the total material energy, rests on his lotus feet. For the cosmic manifestation is but another opulence of the Lord. In this cosmic manifestation, there are four kinds of living entities. Jadayuja, those born from embryos. Hare Krishna, Dr. G. Andaja, those born from eggs. Svedaja, those born from perspiration. And Udbija, those born from seeds. Everything is generated from the Lord, as confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra. Janmadyasya yataha. You get to sit next to Tulsi. Special. Guru Priya. Tulsi Priya. Same thing. Everything is generated from the Lord, as confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra. Janmad yasya yataha. No one is independent, but the Supreme Lord is completely independent. Janmad yasya yataha, janmad yasya yaton bayad, itaratash, charteshu abhigya swarat. The word swarat means independent. We are dependent, whereas the Supreme Lord is completely independent. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is the greatest of all. Even Lord Brahma, who created the cosmic manifestation, is but another opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The material creation is activated by the Lord, and therefore the Lord is not a part of the material creation. The Lord exists in his original spiritual position. The universal form of the Lord, Viraja Murti, is another feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 33. The entire cosmic manifestation has emerged from water, and it is because of water that all living entities endure, live, and develop. This water is nothing but the semen of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, may the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has such great potency, be pleased with us. Purport. Despite the theories of so-called scientists, well, Hare Krishna. How are you? So good to see you again. Come in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. Pull up a floor. Oh, there's a chair right there. No, take the chair, please. Please. Hare Krishna, Carlos. Hare Despite the theories of so-called scientists, the vast quantities of water on this planet and on other planets are not created by a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. Rather, the water is sometimes explained to be the perspiration and sometimes the semen of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna, Kelly. Tell you where to get more chairs around here. This one. You okay? Okay. It is from water that all living entities emerge, and because of water they live and grow. If there were no water, all life would cease. Water is the source of life for everyone. Therefore, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have so much water all over the world. Text 34. Soma, the moon, is the source of food grains, strength, and longevity for all the demigods. He is also the master of all vegetation and the source of generation for all living entities. As stated by learned scholars, the moon is the mind of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of all opulences, be pleased with us. Purport. Soma, the predominating deity of the moon, is the source of food grains, and therefore the source of strength, even for the celestial beings, the demigods. He is the vital source for all vegetation. Unfortunately, modern so-called scientists who do not fully understand the moon describe the moon as being full of deserts. Since the moon is the source for our vegetation, how can the moon be a desert? We'll find out $60 billion later. Hare Krishna. The moonlight, the moonshine, is the vital force for all vegetation, and therefore we cannot possibly accept that the moon is a desert. Text 35. Fire, which is born for the sake of accepting oblations in ritualistic ceremonies, is the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Fire exists within the depths of the ocean to produce wealth, and fire is also present in the abdomen to digest food and produce various secretions for the maintenance of the body. May that supremely powerful Personality of Godhead be pleased with us. Text 36. The sun god marks the path of liberation, which is called Archiradi Vartma. He is the chief source for understanding of the Vedas. He is the abode where the absolute truth can be worshipped. He is the gateway to liberation, and he is the source of eternal life, as well as the cause of death. The sun god is the eye of the Lord. May that Supreme Lord, who is supremely opulent, be pleased with us. Purport. The sun god is considered to be the chief of the demigods. He is also considered to be the demigod who watches the northern side of the universe. He gives help for understanding the Vedas, as confirmed in Brahma Samhita 552. Yach chakshur esha sabita sakala grahanam raja samasta sudamurti rasheshate jaha yas yagyaya brahmati sambrita kala chakro govindamari purusham tamaham bhajami. The sun, full of infinite effulgence, is the king of all the planets and the image of the good soul. The sun is like the eye of the Supreme Lord. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in pursuance of whose order the sun performs his journey, mounting the wheel of time. The sun is actually the eye of the Lord. In the Vedic mantras, it is said that unless the Supreme Personality of Godhead sees, no one can see. Unless there is sunlight, no living entity on any planet can see. Therefore the sun is considered to be the eye of the Supreme Lord. That is confirmed here by the words Yach chakshur asit, and in the Brahma Samhita by the words Yach chakshur esha savita. The word savita means the sun god. Text 37. All living entities, moving and non-moving, receive their vital force, their bodily strength, and their very lives from the air. All of us follow the air for our vital force, exactly as servants follow an emperor. The vital force of air is generated from the original vital source of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. May that Supreme Lord be pleased with us. Text 38. May the supremely powerful Personality of Godhead be pleased with us. The different directions are generated from his ears. The wholes of the body from his heart, and the vital force, the senses, the mind, the air within the body, and the ether, which is the shelter of the body, come from his navel. Text 39. Mahendra, the king of heaven, was generated from the prowess of the Lord. The demigods were generated from the mercy of the Lord. Lord Shiva was generated from the anger of the Lord, and Lord Brahma from his sober intelligence. The Vedic mantras were generated from the bodily wholes of the Lord, and the great saints and Prajapatis were generated from his genitals. May that supremely powerful Lord be pleased with us. Text 40. The goddess of fortune was generated from his chest, the inhabitants of Pitriloka from his shadow, religion from his bosom, and irreligion, the opposite of religion, from his back. The heavenly planets were generated from the top of his head, and the apsaras from his sense enjoyment. May that supremely powerful personality of Godhead be pleased with us. Text 41. The Brahmanas in Vedic knowledge come from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Kshatriyas in bodily strength come from his arms. The Vaishyas and their expert knowledge in productivity and wealth come from his thighs. And the Shudras, who are outside of Vedic knowledge, come from his feet. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full in all prowess, be pleased with us. Text 42. Greed is generated from his lower lip, affection from his upper lip, bodily luster from his nose, animalistic lusty desires from his sense of touch, Yamaraj from his eyebrows, and eternal time from his eyelashes. May that Supreme Lord be pleased with us. 43. All learned men say that the 5 elements, eternal time, fruitive activity, the 3 modes of material nature, and the varieties produced by these modes are all creations of Yogamaya. This material world is therefore extremely difficult to understand, but those who are highly learned have rejected it. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the controller of everything, be pleased with us. Purport. The word Durvibhavyam is very important in this verse. No one can understand how everything is happening in the material world. I'll say that again. The word Durvibhavyam is very important in this verse. No one can understand how everything is happening in this material world by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through his material energies. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.10, Maya Yakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Everything is actually happening under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This much we can learn. But how is it happening? It's extremely difficult to understand. We cannot even understand how the affairs within our body are systematically taking place. The body is a small universe, and since we cannot understand how things are happening in this small universe, how can we understand the affairs of the bigger universe? Actually, this universe is very difficult to understand. Yet learned sages have advised, as Krishna has also advised, that this material world is dukkhalayam, ashaswatam. In other words, it is a place of misery and temporality. We must give up this world and go back home, back to this personality of Godhead. Materialists may argue, if this material world and its affairs are impossible to understand, how can we reject it? The answer is provided by the word Prabhupada Babaram. We have to reject this material world because it is rejected by those who are learned in Vedic wisdom. Even though we cannot understand what this material world is, we should be ready to reject it in accordance with the advice of learned persons, especially the advice of Krishna. Krishna says, Mam upecha. We'll let everybody settle in. Let's everybody settle in. There you go. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Settled in? You okay? You cool? Okay. I want to start a little back so that we can get a train of thought. One must give up this world and go back home, back to the personality of Godhead. Materialists may argue, If this material world and its affairs are impossible to understand, how can we reject it? The answer is provided by the word Prabhupada Pabadam. We have to reject this material world because it is rejected by those who are learned in Vedic wisdom. Even though we cannot understand what this material world is, we should be ready to reject it in accordance with the advice of learned persons, especially the advice of Krishna. Krishna says, Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashasvatam napnuvanti mahatmana sangsiddhim paramam gataha. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. Bhagavad Gita 8:15. One has to return home back to Godhead, for this is the highest perfection of life. To go back to Godhead means to reject this material world. Although we cannot understand the functions of this material world and whether it is good for us or bad for us, in accordance with the advice of the Supreme Authority, we must reject it and go back home, back to Godhead. Text 44. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is completely silent, free from endeavor, and completely satisfied by his own achievements. He is not attached to the activities of the material world through his senses. Indeed, in performing his pastimes in this material world, he is just like the unattached air. Purport. We can simply understand that behind the activities of material nature is the Supreme Lord, by whose indications everything takes place, although we cannot see him. Even without seeing him, we should offer him our respectful obeisances. We should know that he is complete. Everything is done systematically by his energies. Parasya Shaktir Vibhidaiva Shruyate. And therefore he has nothing to do. Natasya Karyam Karanam Chabidyate. As indicated here by the word Upashanta Shaktaye. His different energies act. But although he sets these energies in action, he himself has nothing to do. He is not attached to anything, for he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto him. Text 45. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are surrendered unto you, yet we wish to see you. Please make your original form and smiling lotus face visible to our eyes and appreciable to our other senses. Purport. The devotees are always eager to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his original form, with his smiling, lotus-like face. They are not interested in experiencing the impersonal form. The Lord has both impersonal and personal features. The impersonalists have no idea of the personal feature of the Lord, but Lord Brahma and the members of his disciplic succession want to see the Lord in his personal form. Without a personal form, there can be no question of a smiling face, which is clearly indicated here by the words Sang Smi Tam Te Mukham Bhujam. Those who are in the Vaishnava Sampradaya of Brahma always want to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are eager to realize the Lord's personal feature, not the impersonal feature. As clearly stated here, Asmat Karanago Charam, the personal feature of the Lord can be directly perceived by our senses. Text 46. O Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, by your sweet will you appear in various incarnations, millennium after millennium, and act wonderfully, performing uncommon activities that would be impossible for us. Purport. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4:7, Yada yadahi dharmasya, glanir bhavati bharata, abhyutanam adharmasya, tadatmanam srijamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Thus it is not imagination, but a fact, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by His sweet will, appears in different incarnations, such as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrishinga, Vamana, Parashuram, Ramachandra, Balarama, Buddha, and many other forms. Devotees are always eager to see one of the Lord's innumerable forms. It is said that just as no one can count how many waves there are in the sea, no one can count the forms of the Lord. This does not mean, however, that anyone can claim to be a form of the Lord and be acceptable as an incarnation. The incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be accepted in terms of the descriptions found in the Shastras. Lord Brahma is eager to see the incarnation of the Lord, or the original source of all incarnations. He is not eager to see an impostor. Confirmed. The incarnation's activities are proof of his identity. All the incarnations described in the Shastras act wonderfully. Keshavadrita, Meena Sharira, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. It is only by the personal sweet will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that He appears and disappears, and only fortunate devotees can expect to see Him face to face. Text 47. Karmis are always anxious to accumulate wealth for their sense gratification, but for that purpose they must work very hard. Yet even though they work hard, the results are not satisfying. Indeed, sometimes their work results only in frustration. But devotees who have dedicated their lives to the service of the Lord can achieve substantial results without working very hard. These results exceed the devotees' expectations. Purport. We can practically see how the devotees who have dedicated their lives for the service of the Lord in the Krishna consciousness movement are getting immense opportunities for the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead without working very hard. The Krishna consciousness movement actually started with only 40 rupees. But now it has more than 40 crores worth of property, and all this opulence has been achieved within 8 or 10 years. No karmi can expect to improve his business so swiftly, and besides that, whatever a karmi acquires is temporary and sometimes frustrating. In Krishna consciousness, however, everything is encouraging and improving. The Krishna consciousness movement is not very popular with the karmis because this movement recommends that one refrain from illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. These are restrictions that karmis very much dislike. Nonetheless, in the presence of so many enemies, if the devotees continue to spread this movement, dedicating life and soul to the lotus feet of Krishna, no one will be able to check it. The movement will go forward without limits. Chant Hare Krishna.
You missed a line though.
I did? Where?
After in the sentence, nonetheless, in the presence of
Nonetheless, in the presence of so many enemies, this movement is progressing, going forward without impediments. If the devotees continue, thank you. You're hired. I'll read it again. Nonetheless, in the presence of so many enemies, this movement is progressing, going forward without impediments. If the devotees continue to spread this movement, dedicating life and soul to the lotus feet of Krishna, no one will be able to check it. The movement will go forward without limits. Chant Hare Krishna. You did that so that I could say that again. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Text 48. Activities dedicated to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even if performed in small measure, never go in vain. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, being the Supreme Father, is naturally very dear and always ready to act for the good of living entities. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 2:4, the Lord says, Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bayat. This dharma, devotional service, is so important that even if performed to a very small, almost negligible extent, it can give one the supreme result. There are many instances in the history of the world in which even a slight service rendered to the Lord has saved a living entity from the greatest danger. Ajamil, for example, was saved by the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the greatest danger, that of going to hell. He was saved simply because he chanted the name Narayana at the end of his life. When Ajamil chanted this holy name of the Lord, Narayana, he did not chant knowingly. Actually, he was calling his youngest son, whose name was Narayana. Nonetheless, Lord Narayana took this chanting seriously, and thus Ajamil achieved the result of Ante Narayana Smriti, remembering Narayana at the time of life, at the end of life. If one somehow or other remembers the holy name of Narayana, Krishna, or Rama at the end of life, he immediately achieves the transcendental result of going back home, back to Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually the only object of our love. As long as we are in this material world, we have so many desires to fulfill. But when we come in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we immediately become perfect and fully satisfied, just as a child is fully satisfied when he comes to the lap of his mother. Dhruva Maharaj went to the forest to achieve some material result by austerity and penance. But when he actually saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said, I do not want any material benediction. I am completely satisfied. Even if one wants some material benefit from serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this can be achieved extremely easily without hard labor. Therefore, the Shastras recommend akama, sarvakamo va, mokshakamo, udaradihi, tivrina bhakti yogina, yajeta purusham param. Whether one desires everything or nothing, or desires to merge into the existence of the Lord, he is intelligent only if he worships Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by rendering transcendental, loving service. Bhagavatam 2:3-10. Even if one has material desires, one can undoubtedly achieve what he wants by rendering service to the Lord. Text 49. When one pours water on the root of a tree, the trunk and branches of the tree are automatically pleased. Similarly, when one becomes a devotee of Lord Vishnu, everyone is served, for the Lord is the supersoul of everyone. Purport. As stated in the Padma Purana, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnur Aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. Of all types of worship, worship of Lord Vishnu is best. And better than the worship of Lord Vishnu is the worship of his devotee, the Vaishnava. There are many demigods worshipped by people who are attached to material desires. Kamaistaistaya ritigyana prapadyantenya devata. Because people are embarrassed by so many material desires, they worship Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, the goddess Kali, Durga, Ganesh, and Surya to achieve different results. However, one can achieve all these results simultaneously just by worshipping Lord Vishnu. As stated elsewhere in the Bhagavatam, 4:14, Yata tador mula nicheshanena tripyanti yat skanda bujo pashakaha prano paharachach prano paharach chayatendriyanam tataiva sarvar hanam adjuteja. Just by pouring water on the root of a tree, one nourishes its trunk and all of its branches, fruits and flowers, and just by supplying food to the stomach, one satisfies all the limbs of the body. Similarly, by worshipping Lord Vishnu, one can satisfy everyone. Krishna consciousness is not a sectarian religious movement. Shall I repeat that? You wouldn't mind? Any objections? Or forever hold your peace. Objection? No. Okay. Krishna consciousness is not a sectarian religious movement. Rather, it is meant for all embracing welfare activities for the world. One can enter this movement without discrimination in terms of caste, creed, religion, or nationality. If one is trained to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is the origin of Vishnu Tattva, one can become fully satisfied and perfect in all respects. Text 50. My Lord, all obeisance is unto you, who are eternal, beyond time's limits of past, present, and future. You are inconceivable in your activities. You are master of the three modes of material nature, and being transcendental to all material qualities, you are free from material contamination. You are the controller of all three of the modes of nature, but at the present, you are in favor of the quality of goodness. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead controls the material activities manifested by the three modes of material nature. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Nirgunam Guna Bhoktri Cha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always transcendental to material qualities, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. But nonetheless, He is their controller. The Lord manifests Himself in three features, as Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, to control these three qualities. He personally takes charge of Sattva-guna as Lord Vishnu, and He entrusts the charge of Rajoguna and Tamoguna to Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Ultimately, however, He is the controller of all three gunas. Lord Brahma, expressing his appreciation, said that because Lord Vishnu had now taken charge of the activities of goodness, there was every hope that the demigods would be successful in fulfilling their desires. The demigods were harassed by the demons, who were infested with Tamoguna. However, as Lord Brahma had previously described, since the time of Sattva-guna had now arrived, the demigods could naturally expect to fulfill their desires. The demigods are supposedly well advanced in knowledge, yet they could not understand the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Lord is addressed here as Anantaya. Although Lord Brahma knows past, present, and future, he is unable to understand the unlimited knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports. In the 8th canto, 5th chapter of Srimad-Bhagavatam, entitled, The Demigods Appeal to the Lord for Protection. You gave up today?
My hands are tired.
You got to keep going if you want to go back to Godhead. Okay, Hare Krishna. All right, here we are. Now that Brahma has appealed to the Lord for help, now we're going to hear what happens next. Chapter 6. The demigods and demons declare a truce. Here you go. It's the middle ground. Democrats and the Republicans are something's going to get done now. There's going to be some. This chapter, chapter 6, the demigods and demons declare a truce. This chapter describes how the Lord appeared before the demigods when they offered him their prayers. Following the advice of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demigods executed a truce with the demons for the purpose of churning nectar from the sea. Because of the prayers offered by the demigods in the previous chapter, Lord Kshirodakashayi Vishnu was pleased with the demigods, and thus he appeared before them. The demigods were almost blinded by his transcendental bodily effulgence. At first, therefore, they could not even see any part of his body. After some time, however, when Brahma could see the Lord, he, along with Lord Shiva, began to offer the Lord prayers. Lord Brahma said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, being beyond birth and death, is eternal. He has no material qualities. He is the ocean of unlimited auspicious qualities. He is subtle. He is subtler than the most subtle. He is invisible, and his form is inconceivable. He is worshipable for all the demigods. Innumerable universes exist within his form, and therefore he is never separated from these universes by time, space, or circumstances. He is the chief and the pradhan. Although he is the beginning, the middle, and the end of the material creation, the idea of pantheism, conceived by Mayavadi philosophers, has no validity. The Supreme Personality of Godhead controls the entire material manifestation through his subordinate agent, the external energy. Because of his inconceivable transcendental position, he is always the master of the material energy. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in its various forms, is always present, even within this material world. But the material qualities cannot touch him. One can understand his position only by his instructions, as given in Bhagavad Gita. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 10.10, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Buddhi Yoga means Bhakti Yoga. Only through the process of Bhakti Yoga can one understand the Supreme Lord. When offered prayers by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was pleased. Thus he gave appropriate instructions to all the demigods. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Ajita, unconquerable, advised the demigods to make a peace proposal to the demons, so that after formulating a truce, the demigods and demons could churn the ocean of milk. The rope would be the biggest serpent, known as Vasuki, and the churning rod would be Mandara mountain. Poison would also be produced from the churning, but it would be taken by Lord Shiva, and so there would be no need to fear it. Many other attractive things would be generated by the churning, but the Lord warned the demigods not to be captivated by such things. Nor should the demigods be angry if there were some disturbances. After advising the demigods in this way, the Lord disappeared from the scene. Following the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demigods established a peace with Maharaj Bali, the king of the demons. Then both the demons and the demigods started for the ocean, taking Mandara mountain with them. Because of the great heaviness of the mountain, the demigods and demons became fatigued, and some of them actually died. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, appeared there on the back of his carrier, Garuda, and by his mercy he brought these demigods and demons back to life. The Lord then lifted the mountain with one of his hands and placed it on the back of Garuda. The Lord sat on the mountain and was carried to the spot of the churning by Garuda, who placed the mountain in the middle of the sea. Then the Lord asked Garuda to leave that place, because as long as Garuda was present, Vasuki could not come there. He eats snakes for a living. Garuda. He's not a vegetarian. Okay, 21. Text 1. This is the most fascinating pastime, I think, because there's so many appearances of Krishna. You know, he appeared to help them carry because they couldn't even carry the mountain, so he appeared, carried it for them. And then he sat on the top of it because it started to go like this, so they couldn't do it properly. So he sat there and kind of made the whole thing. Then he became the tortoise underneath, and became the pivot. Anyway, and then he came as Mohini, he came as Dhanvantari, the source of, medicine. And altogether it was a pretty incredible pastime. So let's hear about it, shall we? Okay. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, text 1. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, O King Parikshit, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, being thus worshipped with prayers by the demigods and Lord Brahma, appeared before them. His bodily effulgence resembled the simultaneous rising of thousands of suns. Text 2. The vision of all the demigods was blocked by the Lord's effulgence. Thus they could see neither the sky, the directions, the land, nor even themselves. What to speak of seeing the Lord who was present before them. Text 3 to 7. Lord Brahma, along with Lord Shiva, saw the crystal clear personal beauty of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose blackish body resembles a Marakata gem, whose eyes are reddish like the depths of a lotus, who is dressed with garments that are yellow like molten gold, and whose entire body is attractively decorated. They saw his beautiful, smiling, lotus-like face, crowned by a helmet bedecked with valuable jewels. The Lord had attractive eyebrows, and his cheeks are adorned with earrings. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva saw the belt on the Lord's waist, the bangles on his arms, the necklace on his chest, and the ankle bells on his legs. The Lord is bedecked with flower garlands. His neck is decorated with the Kaustuba gem, and he carries with him the goddess of fortune and his personal weapons, like his disc and club. When Lord Brahma, along with Lord Shiva and the other demigods, thus saw the form of the Lord, they all immediately fell to the ground, offering their obeisances. Text 8. Lord Brahma said, although you were never born, your appearance and disappearance as an incarnation never cease. You are always free from the material qualities, and you are the shelter of transcendental bliss resembling an ocean. Eternally existing in your transcendental form, you are the supreme subtle of the most extremely subtle. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto you, the Supreme, whose existence is inconceivable. Purport. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4:6, Ajopisan avyayatma bhutana ishwaropisan prakritim swam adishtaya sambhavam yat mamayaya. Although I am unborn, and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. In the following verse in Bhagavad Gita 4:7, the Lord says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijam yaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Thus, although the Supreme Lord is unborn, there is no cessation to his appearance in different forms as incarnations, like Lord Krishna and Lord Rama. Since his incarnations are eternal, the various activities performed by these incarnations are also eternal. The Supreme Personality of Godhead does not appear because he is forced to do so by karma, like ordinary living entities who are forced to accept a certain type of body. It is to be understood that the Lord's body and activities are all transcendental, being free from the contamination of the material modes of nature. These pastimes are transcendental bliss to the Lord. The word apariganya damne is very significant. There is no limit to the Lord's appearance in different incarnations. All of these incarnations are eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Text 9. O best of persons, O Supreme Director, those who actually aspire for supreme good fortune, worship this form of your Lordship, according to the Vedic Tantras. My Lord, we can see all the three worlds in you. Purport. The Vedic mantras say, Kasmin tu bhagavo vigyate, sarvam idam vigyatam bhavatiti. Mundaka Upanishad 1.3. When the devotee sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his meditation, or when he sees the Lord personally, face to face, he becomes aware of everything within this universe. Indeed, nothing is unknown to him. Everything within this material world is fully manifested to a devotee who has seen the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Gita 4.34 therefore advises, Tadvidi panipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshantite jnanam jnaninas tatpadarshinaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Lord Brahma is one of these self-realized authorities. Swayambur Naradak Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu. One must therefore accept the disciplic succession from Lord Brahma, and then one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead in fullness. Here the word Vishwamurtao indicates that everything exists in the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who is able to worship him can see everything in him and see him in everything. Text 10. My dear Lord, you are always fully independent. This entire cosmic manifestation arises from you, rests upon you, and ends in you. Your Lordship is the beginning, sustenance, and end of everything, like the earth, which is the cause of an earthen pot, which supports the pot, and to which the pot, when broken, finally returns. Text 11. O Supreme, you are independent in yourself, and you do not take help from others. Through your own potency, you create this cosmic manifestation and enter into it. Those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness, who are fully in knowledge of the authoritative Shastra, and who, through the practice of Bhakti Yoga, are cleansed of all material contamination, can see with clear minds that although you exist within the transformations of the material qualities, your presence is untouched by these qualities. Purport. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 9.10, Maya yakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunan inakonteya jagad viparivartate. This material nature, working under my direction, O son of Kunti, is producing all moving and non-moving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. The material energy creates, maintains, and devastates the entire cosmic manifestation because of directions given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. who enters this universe as Garbhodakashai Vishnu, but is untouched by the material qualities. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord refers to Maya, the external energy, which creates this material world, as Mama Maya, my energy. Because this energy works under the full control of the Lord, these facts can be realized only by those who are well versed in Vedic knowledge and advanced in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll stop our reading tonight, 7:31. Open mic. There was a lot of stuff heard tonight about the Lord. Kind of contrasts when you hear preaching and sermons about God, but there's no description of Him at all. Zilch. So many nice details.
That's like a major.
Honest John has got something to say. When he speaks, listen up.
Like E.F. Hutton.
He's an electrician. He'll turn you on.
And that's like a major stumbling block for a lot of religions, is that it's hard for them to conceive of God. It's not like just some presence, some all, encompassing deity that, just doesn't have any form, just some power. That's what's so different about this. It's the more that you read, because it was hard for me to, at first, to kind of put my head around God as being an actual person, with a form and like that. So that's been a real different conception for me, and that's been something that I've been, gradually learning.
Yeah, and it becomes tangible
Right.
and concrete, and therefore there's something really good about it for some people, and there's something really bad about it for others, because there's somebody they're going to have to be responsible to if he's actually a person.
Yeah, I didn't realize the importance of that.
Yeah.
At first.
Yeah.
Why it was stressful. Why is that? Why do we have to think of God like that? But there's really good reasons why we should. So anyway, that's been my whole, it's been kind of changing my whole perception of it's been growing.
Of reality.
Yeah, reality's been growing for sure.
Yeah.
So.
What ran through my mind in that section that you're talking about, where it says that God has both a personal and an impersonal feature. So, and that combined with that one statement that Krishna consciousness is not a sectarian religion. So the truth is that although sometimes when we're challenged, we will fight to establish that God is a person. But the truth is that He's a person and also has an impersonal feature, both. So we don't actually have a fight with those who say that God is impersonal, But if they say that God doesn't have a personal form, then we'll fight. In other words, we say yes. If you believe that God is everything, that's right. You're not wrong. But that's not everything. That's not the complete picture. He has an impersonal feature, but He also has a personal feature, because otherwise, how can we have personal features? If the source of everything is just of an amorphous energy field, then how is it that we got our forms? And why are they all, they're all different and at the same time similar. We're sitting in this room, look at all the varieties of people, age, gender, race, nationality, etc., etc. And yet we all got two eyes, we all got two ears, we all got a mouth and nose. Why? They can't answer that question. They're trying to figure it out and say that some chemicals came together randomly and gradually over 65 billion years, this is what what happened. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, even before I joined this movie, it just didn't make any sense. That's why I kept looking. They satisfy me. I've got a form. God can't have a form. What does that mean? Make me, greater than God? Or, God has one son, but I can have 4 or 5 sons. Well, I didn't, but you could. and God can only have one? Sorry, I didn't calculate, So I appreciate your point. When I started to hear the details, it all kind of fell into place. Therefore, if we actually hear the whole thing, and it's not an easy thing to hear the whole thing. 18,000 verses, as deep as we only just heard how many verses? From
I don't know, we're in 12, chapter 6.
Yeah, well, we started on 5. What?
Started on
33. Anyway, I don't know how many verses, but it was just a few verses. 20 verses out of 18,000 verses. So imagine if you actually become serious and hear this all the way through, and then hear it through it again, and then hear it through again. Oh, you're going to get a lot of ideas about it. And you're going to see a lot. That's our experience. And Lord Brahma, in the beginning, he studied the Vedas. He was the one that received the Vedas. And he studied them 3 times. And after he studied them 3 times, he said, anybody who thinks that they can understand God completely, I take exception. Impossible to understand him completely, no matter who you are. So it seems to me that with all this detail and observation of what's going on here, if we can't feel just a little submissive, then we got to wait in line for a long time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hog show there. Hare Krishna.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Hare Krishna, how are you?
Hare Krishna. Excellent, thank you.
Oh, yes.
Well, I have this, we're just adding to the topic of him and you. For example, yesterday I was reading the Bhagavad Gita, and I'm in chapter 13. In the
13?
Yeah, 13.
Oh, great chapter.
Excellent, man. It's mind-blowing. It's about like... yeah, it's because they talk about the body, what it is, and they call it the field of activity, which is composed by 24 elements, plus our individual soul, plus our friend, which is Krishna. And I was like, absolutely mind-blowing to me.
You signed up.
Huh?
I joined.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Oh?
You're a natural.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The way, the way you explained that 13th chapter in such succinct, simple terms was wonderful.
Oh, it was amazing.
Come and join us and spread this movement.
Well, actually, I'm trying every single day.
Okay,
I was trying to bring people to understand this because this is amazing.
Oh, good.
Oh, yes.
Keep it up.
Absolutely.
We'll give you a raise.
Never for the money, nor for the fame. It's just because it's like, to me, I'm thankful that I'm here. Actually, to me, when I'm here, I'm feeling that I'm not actually wasting my time.
Oh.
Because when I'm doing something else, I'm literally just engaged to Maya. But when I'm here, actually, I'm engaged to something that is transcendental to everybody. That is excellent. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We look forward to the day.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're already doing it, but we look forward to the day that you come. We see you do it all the time. It's going to be very nice.
I'm telling you, man. I'm
Yeah. Oh, weird. Little push, little shove. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, Prana, enlighten us further.
Well, it's related.
Take us further.
It's very much related to his last point there about feeling like not wasting time. It's in the verse, text 47. Brahma is talking about the karmis and how they accumulate the wealth, and they work very hard, but then the results aren't even satisfying and they're frustrated. But then how the devotees dedicate their lives to the service of the Lord, and they achieve results, substantial results beyond their expectations, without even working very hard, Prabhupada says in the purport. And I just think that's just a classic point about how, one who endeavors so much for the material things, it's toiling fruitlessly, really, because all you obtain is something that's temporary. It's not really as good as you thought it was. It slips through your fingers soon enough. But then just doing a little bit in devotional service, one tastes just exquisite nectar, and it just keeps increasing and getting better. So I think I appreciate your reflection too, because it's experiential. When one actually does it and experiences it, then this verse comes alive, and so I think that's what needs to be encouraged, I suppose, is that experience.
Can I document your point with an anecdote?
Yes.
In I don't remember what year it was, but it was very soon after we got our temple in Los Angeles, which Prabhupada very soon made kind of like the world headquarters at that time. And the neighbors, they started complaining, you guys, you've got so many vehicles, and we eat your food, and it's like better than restaurant, and you're not doing anything. You don't got jobs. And Prabhupada said, "Oh yes, you can come and join us." No, we can't do that. Why? There's no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication. I mean, what do you do all day? That's all they do. That's all they think about. That's their whole life. So that's the issue. That's the issue. They work hard to get those things, and those things just don't get it. They don't satisfy the heart. No matter how much of it they do, it just doesn't satisfy the heart.
One temporary.
Yeah, temporal. The word temporality was used in the verses, in the purports we just read. So that's the thing. They just can't admit it. In the Vedic culture, when you met somebody and you argued with them about these things, and if you were defeated, you would become the person's disciple on the spot. That's the Vedic culture, when truth was still resonating stronger. And now, as we're seeing more and more and more, 12th Canto of Bhagavatam, one of the qualities of Kali Yuga, if you don't have a lot of money, you can't get justice. Or, another way of looking at it, if you have a lot of money, you can get out even if it isn't justice. From the cyberspace, we've got something. Okay.
Vijay Lakshmi.
Hare Krishna Vijay Lakshmi. She's in Bangalore, India.
Okay. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. I can understand this part, see him in everything. Please, can you explain the part, see everything in him, with an analogy? Thank you in advance.
I've used this analogy before. You grow cotton in a cotton plant, and there's the balls of cotton, white, fluffy. It's a miracle, actually. It comes right out of the ground. And then they spin it, and they make a thread, and you can no longer see the cotton ball. And then they take the thread and they weave cloth, and you can no longer see the thread. But it's there. The cotton ball's there, the cotton is there, the thread's there. So like that, the universe was created from seed. Okay? In the beginning of the universe, there were, from every pore of Mahavishnu's body, there was a golden sperm came out. And those they were the seeds of the universe. Each one of them was a seed of a universe. So the number of universes, we know exactly how many. Well, we don't know exactly how many, but if you could count the number of hair holes that are in your body, that's the number of universes. And so from that, and the energy, and it starts just like in the womb of the mother. In the womb of the mother, the seed is planted by the father, and then with the energy that's inside the mother, then gradually, all of the parts. So then the child comes out, and you can see, the father in the child, and you can see the child in the father. That's the process of creation. But it takes vision that it's opened by this knowledge of actually how it happened. So it's not that I can just tell you, see the Lord in everything. It's not that you can just, you have to hear it, how it happens, and then you have to look through that knowledge and all the other knowledge that comes. How we're supposed to think, how we're supposed to feel, how we're supposed to will, how we're supposed to act in Krishna consciousness. And then when we do that according to the law of nature, just like if you run around and do whatever you want in any country against the law, then you're what's the word? Restless, and you're always looking, for the law to come and get you, and that's criminal mentality. You can't feel when the police comes. And you're actually against the thieves. They run into the woods or run into the shadows. But a person who's actually following the laws and he's got nothing to hide, then when they see the police, they feel calm and they feel secure. It gives them a sense of security. Of course, that's nowadays become very theoretical because it's not exactly like that in so many places. But that's the principle. So we can't expect to see those things without following, the laws and listening and hearing and trying to understand the complexities of this material world and how all the forms are put together and how it all works according to the laws of nature. But when we do, and we look out at the world, then you'll be able to see Krishna everywhere, in everything. It comes through remembrance. Through knowledge, realized knowledge.
Transcendental vision.
Transcendental vision.
Transcendental vision.
Yes.
You have to have transcendental vision to be able to see Krishna in everything.
Yes, and in Bhagavad Gita, in the 11th chapter, if you remember, Arjuna asked Krishna to show him how he entered into this world and is in everything. And then he said, oh, by the way, you don't have the eyes to see it.
Exactly.
And nobody's ever seen it before. So I'll give you the eyes here.
Vision.
And then there's a description of what he saw.
Exactly. No, it's amazing.
And then what happened? He was terrified.
Yes, oh yeah.
I mean, at first he was going, wow, look at that. And then, oh my God. And he's seeing everybody, rushing into the mouths of time, and then he became disturbed, and then he said, okay, enough. I want to see that original form, And those who are actually perverted, whose knowledge is perverted, who change the actual meaning of the words, they think that universal form is the source of Krishna's personal form, rather than the personal form being the source of the universal form. And then what are they? Always afraid. Always agitated, always never peaceful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
That's it? Anybody else? Okay, Tamal, this is your last chance. Oh, okay. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. To hear in the assembly of devotees is the goal of life. Hari Krishna. See you tomorrow night, 6:30, same time, same place. Live studios here, Radha Lane. Hari Krishna. Central Time, USA. Hari Krishna.